Hello, and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 542. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Sometimes when we say the episode numbers, I'm like, oh my god. Someday we have to stop, right?
Oh, no, never.
It's August the 20th, 2021.
She is eating her ball
Hey,
now.
stop. Thank you, ma'am.
Buffy's in here, Leslie's popping.
Yeah. Who, the only person she likes more than me is Laura.
Aww.
So, yeah. It's been a couple weeks since we recorded.
I had shingles.
Yeah, and the first week of school at the same time. So,
yeah.
It was, other stuff took precedence, and we appreciate you guys always being so understanding about that kind of thing. Any fun takeaways that you want to talk about with shingles?
Shingles are not fun. If you're not vaccinated and you're over the age of 50 in the United States, I highly recommend you get the new shingles vaccine. I will be getting it even if I have to pay out of pocket. That's how much they sucked. So, yeah, they are still all over my torso. It is super not fun. Do not recommend. 0 out of 10 stars. I don't know what else to say about that. I had to take off a lot of time, the most time that I've ever taken off of work in my life, even more than when I hurt my knee. And I was forced to do that, which, looking back on it, I'm super glad that the nurse said I had to, my school nurse, because A, I could have spread chickenpox, which no one wants chickenpox either, and B, I slept for a week and a half straight, basically.
I mean, that's the way it is when you get the flu. It's like, not only do you just feel like crap, like, your body just kind of forces you into sleep so it can recover.
Yep. So, 0 out of 10 stars.
And because you were in, constant pain, there's not a lot of crafting.
There is not.
This week.
As opposed to the last time when there was not a lot of crafting. But hopefully now things will kind of get back to normal. So, yeah.
Yeah, you went back to school this week, so...
Yep. I did, and stayed away from everyone.
All the manga-loving children.
Oh, they're so cute. I did not stay away from them. So, this week before school, I have open checkout hours, and I've had so many little 6th graders. So my 6th graders last year did not have a school library because of COVID. They didn't have access, so they were at a different school. So, they are super stoked, and one of them came in today and was like, I just want you to know that this is the best library. And I was like, well, thank you. And he's like, and I'm going to come in every day. And I was like, okay, sounds good. I am fine with that. And got 4 random manga books, some One Piece, and Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball, and My Hero Academia. Those are, the 4 most popular right now. So yeah, they're super happy, and thank you everyone who's donated to my library through the Amazon wish list. On Monday I get to see my 7th graders for the first actual library checkout, so I'm pretty happy about that too. I'm very happy about that.
Did they have checkouts while you were out?
No. No, they did not. In fact, well, they didn't because they're doing device checkouts still.
Yeah. So
we are a 1-to-1 school, which means that we have 1,034 computers that have to be issued. So they worked mainly on that while I was out. A team of people.
Yeah.
And we have, the kids have to pay a $25 fee for the device rentals, so they had to receipt all that and all that jazz. All that jazz, which I am happy that I missed, although I've been receipting all week this week. For kids, it's a revolving kind of thing. People pay when they can. So yeah, that is what's going on in real life, but you've been crafting a ton, so I'm going to make you go first.
Sure. I've been crafting a lot, but it's been a lot of random things. So, first, I've been working on, this is the Neon in Tea. By Cecily Cloudwick McDonald on this absolutely gorgeous model. It's calls for Kinsan Company's Sparrow, which is what I'm using. I've knit with this yarn before, this color even.
You're gonna have a twin set when you're done.
I could, yeah. I mean, the lace patterns are different, but
it'll be fun.
The other thing I knit was this. It was my first fingering weight cardigan.
It was an Amy Herzog.
Caulfield, I think, was the name of
Yeah.
it. So the last time you saw this, I was where the little piggy is. That's courtesy of Teresa. Was a birthday gift.
It's a wee ones.
It's a wee ones, yep.
Yeah.
She got me a set of 4, and they're in different poses. It's very cute. So I've made a significant amount of progress since the last time you've seen it, but it hasn't all been this week. It's been over the past 2 to 3 weeks. So this is linen. Pretty sure it's 100%.
Yeah, it's 100% of
Okay.
Sequence & Co.
Yeah, it is. So it's 100% linen, and linen has a lot of great qualities. It's super hard wearing. It's very lightweight. It gets softer with time and washings, but it does have some drawbacks. Like when you have wool, and you know.
It has
Yeah, so I'm just going to pull a
some
little bit of this out.
stretch.
So this is at rest, right?
Elasticity.
But if you pull it, it does have a little bit of stretch. It's not, in this particular hand spun, there's not a ton of it, but there is some bounce and some stretch. In linen, there's 0. It doesn't, it is
A
static.
non-elastic fiber.
Yeah. So you don't realize it, but when you're knitting, typically with wool, that stretch eases the tension on your knuckles and your wrists and your hands. And with linen, there is none of that easing. So I can't knit on it for a long time because my wrists start to hurt.
What size needles is it being knit on?
I think they're 5s. Yep, 5, so 3.75 millimeter.
Yeah. This is a larger, isn't the smallest needle either.
No, I mean, but for me, it's a relatively small needle.
Oh, yeah, I forget about you and your loosey-goosey ways.
I mean, I can knit a fingering weight sweater sometimes on a 7, depending on the gauge and what the overall effect is. But, yeah, for this one, I really want the end garment, so it'll be something I just won't be able to knit power through. So,
yeah.
And that's fine. So that's one thing that I've been working on. The other knitting thing that I've been working on is the Solvik tee, and this is by Standard Knits. Sorry, I've got a bunch of other crap in the bag that has this, so bear with me just a second. It's shocking that all the piles of stuff don't just sit exactly where I want them.
That is shocking to me.
So this is mostly done. I've got to do some weaving in of ends and just some cleaning up of where the yarn was switched. But for the most part, this is done. So this is the back. This is the front. So it's a garter stitch tee. I feel like something weird happened right there, but I don't know what.
You've got a pull on this side, or is that an end?
Well, something weird happened right here, but I can't quite
That's
figure out
an
what it is. Okay, so look right here where I'm pointing, and I'm going to hold it up. Like something weird. Like I messed up the lace or something.
You did. It's missing yarn over right there.
Well, but it's all the way over here, too. Oh, well, I'm not ripping it out.
No.
So whatever it is, that's what it's going to be. I did find the end of it a little bit confusing because of the way that the charts and how it's written out, so I kind of screwed up the end too. And I've got like these weird little just lines at the bottom instead of another V. Guess what? Not gonna fix that either.
I think it looks fine.
But this one
I think
was
it's gonna be delightful on.
like a linen, flax, cotton. I think this
And it's cropped, right?
Yeah, it's meant to be cropped. And so I'll wear it over the shelf bra tanks that I get from Duluth or that I make. But it just needs some finishing, like clean up on the finishing. There was the way that you do because you're constantly using 2 different balls of yarn, because even though it's knit in the round, you act like it's knit flat. and you do that so that you don't have to purl, so you're always knitting.
Okay.
And once I got closer to the bottom, I got to where I could do the switch pretty easily and not noticeably. But up closer to the top, I hadn't quite figured out what I was doing yet. So I'm just going to go in and sort of tweak, you know, and even it out. Pull, you know, the stitches a little bit. And
like use a tapestry needle to like
and just even it out.
Yeah, you can change your gauge in specific sections by pulling the yarn.
So that's what I'm going to do. It's good for like watching TV or something where I don't have to pay a lot of attention to it. And yeah, so that's done. I have a Holstein and a little left.
Oh, cool.
So I will show this again next week, hopefully with a finished object with an actual picture. And yeah, so there's that, mostly done. And I've got one more thing that I'm working on that I dropped a thing. No, I'm not, totally not wearing pajama pants. I don't know why you would even ask that.
I'm gonna pull down your shirt in the bag too and be a good friend.
So I've decided this year that I'm going to do some cross stitch for some people that I work with, because my team's pretty small. There's only 6 of us all together. And before I've done other things, I've knit like tiny hats and ornaments and stuff. This year, my team is much more, they have a very dry sense of humor. Like if we ever got slow enough that people took the time to read our like Teams chat, we'd all be fired.
I had to have Teams training yesterday, by the way.
Yeah. I like Teams because it has a GIF searcher built into the team, and I'm like, that was the worst decision you ever made.
I don't know that, well, they turned off chat for ours.
Then what's the point?
Well, because it's some high schools in the county have gone totally virtual, and they don't want the kids chatting on the side while the teacher is trying to teach, because the teacher can't monitor those chats.
I mean, the children have hundreds of other ways to chat.
Oh, I know. I know. Like, I know.
But, okay, well.
And I was like, I would rather them be posting, like, when they have questions, posting them there than whatever. I don't know. Yeah. They're still trying to figure it out, because now, if we do go virtual, we have to do so many hours of Teams instruction a day. So it's not asynchronous instruction anymore like it was when Kobe was there. It's synchronous instruction. So all the kids have to log into Teams. Like,
everybody has to do it the same way.
For the whole day, basically. Well. So.
Yeah, I don't often think to look at it from the perspective of like administrating a district. That's a very different animal. Well, all of my cross stitch is rude in some way or another. So this one doesn't have any actual explicit words in it, but this one is, I'm presently experiencing life at the rate of several WTFs per hour.
I like that one.
So I've started it. I did start gridding out all of my cross stitches, so it's 10 by 10 squares, and I just use like a water soluble sewing.
Okay, like a friction pen or a...
You can use a friction pen, yeah. I didn't happen to have one downstairs, and it was too lazy to come upstairs, so I just used a sewing marker. So this one, I'm not going like in order, I'm just going about what's closer to where I am. But yeah, so I knit on these, you know, if I have a couple minutes during a meeting, or if I take a break during lunch or whatever. So
cool.
So that's the other thing that I'm working on, and that's all that I'm working on. But now I'm gonna cross stitch.
Now you're gonna cross stitch.
Yep. What have you been working on?
So the one thing that I've been working on is a V-neck Magpie tendency. I am getting to the end of the row, so I can actually show you all what it looks like. I think when last we spoke, I had the I-core done, and I'm doing this out of some hand spun from Hello Yarn. I spun it, but she dyed the gorgeous fiber. It is 2 colorways. It is 4 ounces of one colorway and 8 ounces of another. So this is a good way, although you could use, depending on your size, you could use only 8 ounces total. I did spin this. I probably could have gotten away with just 8 ounces, but I spun this a little bit thicker. I wanted to do a sport weight sweater instead of a fingering weight sweater. I thought it would help with my joints because you are doing a lot of unusual construction, and I really love it with this. So, interchangeable needles have been really helpful because I can just switch out the cords and keep things on holders because you are using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holders, I believe, at one point, which is basically the point that I'm at right now, or four holders and a working needle. So it's like this so far. The back is done to the sleeve hole. The little tops of the sleeves are in that contrast color, and the sleeves themselves will be knit out of that contrast color. They will be 3/4 sleeves, or as far as I can go before I run out of yarn. The I-cord is that contrast color, and the I-cords will meet to form that V-neck in the front. So right now, it's going to look weird because it's got all these holders and they're distorting the stitches. But right now I'm working on the right-hand side. These two will meet in the middle, down there. So this side still has to be knit. It's not quite there yet. And also that's not sitting quite right. It's more up like that. So it's less of a deep V.
It looks like sort of drug shoulder pads.
Well, if there was ever a name for a podcast, there you go. Also, I'm doing a poor job of it's on.
It's hard.
It's on holders.
It's a weird. I say weird. It's an unusual construction, so it's.
Yeah, but it's very clever, unusual construction. Like these two I-cords meeting with the V-neck is going to be really, really interesting. It is going to be cropped. I have this much of the second color left. And that is as far as I will go. I'm just going to knit this down till it runs out. Hopefully it'll get around 10 inches under my underarm. And I'm not quite through the first 4 ounces, I would say. So, yeah, we will get there. I'm digging. This is the first full sweater I will have knit out of hand spun. Everything else has been stripes of hand spun or a yoke or something like that. So I'm super stoked for this, and I have both green and blue dresses that I think it will look good over.
That's cool.
So yeah, I just started this side from when I got here, so all this blue has been knit since I've been, so it goes super fast. It's just finding the time to work on it. So that is all that I'm working on. That is all that I have worked on. I'm hoping by the time I see you guys next, it will be done. So that is the main thing. I was successful in, was it July and August? Yeah, I was successful in July of just knitting with hand spun or finishing projects that were already on the needles. And I'm continuing that into August, although I won't for September because the Halloween Craft All the Things will start when Stash Dash is over at the end of August. So I'm super stoked about that. I'm always stoked about that. Lollipop Yarns has an update this weekend, this Sunday, and she's doing a pre-order of 10 Halloween colors that I would love, but I have enough Halloween yarn. I'm going to knit a couple pairs of what I have before I can buy some more. But, yeah, she's got some really pretty. She and Nomadic. Nomadic is also doing a Halloween update this weekend.
They're both great self-stripers.
And then Teeny Button Studio is also doing Halloween yarn right now. She is not a self-striper, but she is
She does
amazing.
A lot of great themed yarn.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, I have a bunch of Hocus Pocus colorways I bought last year, so I'm hoping to knit some of those up this year, and then I might even knit a Halloween sweater. I have a Halloween hat already and 10 pairs of Halloween socks.
So when you say Halloween sweater, what do you mean?
Well, my friend Emily did this amazing jack-o'-lantern sweater last year. So that out of fingering weight, that could be an option. Or I could do Halloween colored, purples and blacks and oranges and greens. So I don't know, but it could happen.
For sure.
And I would totally wear it all year long, just like I wear my, oh, what is that? It's a Charles Dickens quote. Anyway, I'll think of it. Oh, my Bah Humbug shirt.
Oh.
It gets worn all the time, regardless of it being Christmas or not, so. Because it's got a sheep, and it's funny. I do love a good pun.
So you don't have any finished?
I have pottery that you picked up
Yeah,
for me.
so show it. I haven't looked at any of it.
I haven't looked at it either. Leslie handed me. So Leslie was kind enough. I took a pottery class at a local coffee shop called Bell Tower. And they have a pottery studio, and it was the beginner class. So y'all be kind to my beginnerness. And they allowed you to throw 3 pots. And they glazed them. So this is one. A little dish. And they wrote my name and the date on the bottom, which is cute. But yeah, it's just like a cute little dish to hold stuff. Probably stitch markers, if we're being honest.
Paraphernalia for the knitting.
I think that was the bowl one, and then I did 2 like plates. So this is one of the plates, and they're food safe.
Yep.
I like that one a lot, actually.
I think they've both been good so far.
They only do so it's what, $40 for the class?
Yeah, and I think it's 2 or 3 hours of instruction.
And they have the balls already centered on the bats of clay, and you just throw, and then they glaze all the same color. And another plate, slightly larger plate. Oh, it's got a little bit of a wonky rim.
That's okay.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. This is the one, as I was taking it to the drying shelf, I caught it with my fingernail. So, but yeah, not too bad. Not too bad for beginner.
Not at all.
So yeah, I have my 1 bowl and 2 plates. I do enjoy throwing plates. That was my fave.
Yeah, I'm good with wide things. I'm less good with tall things.
Yeah, so I might take, they have a mug throwing class on Friday nights. Or I might take this class again, just because it is pretty chill. And then Leslie can go through while I'm throwing. And then we go out to dinner together. Or get takeout, or get cookies.
Yeah, it's right by the university, so there is a cookie delivery place.
Yeah, and Insomniac Cookies is there. I think that's a nationwide chain.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. And it's always found near a college campus because they deliver cookies to like 2 a.m.
Because they have a friggin' brilliant like business plan.
Yep.
I can't hate on them. That is a brilliant concept.
So that is all my finished objects.
Okay. Well, I have a couple, if I remember to bring it up.
You some cross stitch,
I
right?
do. So, let me move this. Stick that right there. Let me check and see if I put it in my bag here. Well, I didn't bring it.
Okay.
I'll show it next week. But I do have some other stuff. So, I started doing toothbrush rugs because I talked about this briefly before, so I'll keep it brief again. I need rugs for my house, but I need those rugs to be washable because I have pets. And I can't afford to take a giant rug to a dry cleaner's, you know, several times a year. So,
If we're being honest, it would probably be more than several times.
Probably. I mean,
because pets.
But I don't want a bunch of tiny rugs, which if I'm making them, they can't be enormous because.
I just messed up.
Do you want me to focus on you? Or?
No, I just need to rip out a row now. It's fine.
So the rugs that I need big rugs, but I don't want to make big rugs because then they won't fit in the washing machine. Even though I have a pretty large washing machine, so I wanted to make a bunch of small pieces that I could then like create little strips that have snaps on them or something.
Gotcha.
To snap the pieces together. So I had some old sheets that I'd gotten from Goodwill expressly for the purpose of making, at that time I thought I was going to be braiding rugs, but I think for this purpose, this toothbrush rug thing works better, and it's, you use a plastic needle or wood. They sell, you can use the same needles as if you're doing nail binding, Naal, binding, so it's basically like a giant tapestry needle. And you can make them out of basically anything. They're called toothbrush rugs because they used to be made out of old toothbrushes. After you'd use the bristles, you would cut off the head of the toothbrush and then just sort of file down the edges, and then the little hole would be where you would thread your yarn, being the strips of sheets. So you take the sheets, you rip them into strips about 1.5 inches wide, roughly, and then you snip holes in either side. And I'll put a link to, I watched a video of an older British woman demonstrating it, and it was the best one I had seen. It showed you how to do tension. It's very simplistic. I'll put the link in the show notes. Our show notes are found on our website, which is TheKnitGirlls with 3Ls.com. So this is what they look like. I
like
use
the red and white.
2 colors. I've done red and white and gray and white, but I've also got like some blues, a floral pattern, a couple of solids and lighter colors. I just because it helps me keep track of the rows easier if I'm alternating colors.
I think that's smart.
So I'm making them all the same size, which is roughly maybe 12 inches by 30-ish inches, somewhere around there. I'm doing the same number of rows on all of them. I've got 7 or 8 so far. So I've got enough to do a big rug in the living room, but I also want to have rugs for the bathrooms and maybe in the dining room as well. We'll see. But it's an easy thing to sit in front of the TV. You do have to have a flat surface, so I've got a folding table right now that's sitting in front of my television because I just need space. And so you just need a flat surface, because if you do it like on top of your leg or something, it's gonna be curved when it finishes, and you don't want that.
Ah, gotcha. Maybe you do. Maybe you're making speed bumps for your cats.
I mean, yeah. Could be. The other thing that I made, and this was from a kit that Laura and I got. She got a different one, but we both got kits from the same store. And it was going to be for a fail-along before we got it and realized there's no way we could have done it in the time.
I have no idea. Do you still have my kit?
You have your kit.
No idea where that is.
Isn't he adorable?
Oh my gosh.
So this is Rilla Raccoon. And again, the link is in the show notes.
Are you sure you don't have my kit? Because you can make it.
Yours is a bird with a twirly hat.
I don't know where it is though.
So this is all felt
for it.
And stuffing, and the little boots come off, and the little jacket comes off. It's got a little button on it.
Oh.
He's got little pockets.
Oh.
There's a little cute raincoat, and even the raincoat like
it
has a hoodie strings that like cinch.
That's adorable.
Yeah, this took almost as long to cut out as it did to assemble.
I'm sure.
There were a lot of pieces. When we bought them, they didn't have like difficulty ratings, but when I went back to link them, I read the listing again, and now they do. Yours is a level 1. This is a level 3. Because I always overestimate how much time and effort and all that I'm going to have.
That is
it's got a little raccoon
adorable.
tail. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them, but I was like, it had been sitting downstairs for a year, and I was like, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to make this stupid thing.
I completely forgot about those.
So yeah, yours is the Twirly Bird.
I'll look for it.
Got a little twirly hat.
I'm sure he's in the stash, hanging out.
Yeah.
Unassembled.
But I thought he was really cute.
He is super cute. I remember us getting them.
Yeah, this probably took me 6 or 7 hours altogether. If you count like Because you got to stuff him, and he's got little pipe cleaner legs, and
Oh.
you sew them all together, and yeah, it was really cute. I'm.
Are you gonna get more? Was
No.
it cute enough for you to buy more?
I mean, not of the same. They have other characters there,
Yeah.
which are cute.
No, I didn't assume that you were gonna make like a raccoon army and raincoats. But you can make them ride the toad army.
I could.
And it'd be very funny.
I wouldn't be opposed to other felt animals. I
Yeah.
just haven't searched, but I haven't really looked for anything else yet. But it was really cute. I thought he was really cute with his little button, little raincoat.
He is super cute.
So I don't know. That'll be a gift for somebody at some point, probably.
Until then, he's gonna ride the microphone.
I have some spinning. You have spinning. You show your spinning. I'm done talking for a while.
Okay. So I got a new wheel, but it's a wheel that I already have a version of. So my Ladybug is my very first wheel, and it is a original Ladybug. It's one of the first ones ever produced back in like 2008-ish. And the design has changed significantly since I got that wheel. It's also one of the most popular wheels that we loaned to people at SSK. And I had
it's a very approachable wheel.
It is.
Like, it doesn't feel
it's a great wheel.
Intimidating for someone.
And I had sold a Krumsky Sonata that was in my herd of wheels. And so I was looking to get a new wheel, and it is one of our more popular wheels to borrow and loan, and I just like it. Anyway, so Shacked came out with this year a cherry version with a black wheel instead of a red wheel. It still has the Ladybug hidden on it, and it's just really interesting to see all the upgrades and changes that wheel has gone through since 2008. So in 12, 13 years, all the changes that have been made. It's really, really impressive.
Were you spinning when we started the podcast? Like, had you already started spinning?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. You had too then. Because we started together.
Yeah, I know. I just can't remember if it was before or after we started the podcast.
I'm pretty sure it was before. I don't know when we started the podcast.
This is our...
2010. And I learned to spin in 2008. So yes.
Yeah, this is our 11th year.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Anyway, so I started to I assembled this wheel. There's a picture on Instagram of Pearl being helpful.
Oh.
And standing on the treadles.
I meant to ask, because I didn't look. Does it have the built-in spot for the Lazy Kate like the old one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does. I just don't have the Lazy.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if that was
the
something that they
Kate.
changed along with the other stuff or not. So.
No, it still has the spot for the Lazy Kate. I didn't purchase one because I was being cheap. But
also, you have a lot of Lazy Kates.
I do, but I don't use... That's also not a good Lazy Kate. But it's an exceptional bobbin storage thing.
Yeah.
So it's great for
it's great
storing
for a built-in
your
bobbin, or
yeah.
for a built-in Lazy Kate, but
yeah, it's just
typically you want your singles away from you.
Yeah.
When you're.
And
flying.
I've had singles on that Lazy Kate actually go wrapped around the wheel, because if you have a single that's loose and free, and anyway, I might get one for it at a later date, because I do love that you can carry 5 bobbins on that wheel with the handles without having to like pack more.
But that's
stuff.
always a good thing if we're like at a show and you're in a store and you want to support them, but they don't really have anything you want. That's a good like purchase.
Yeah, absolutely. So Hobbly Hoy sadly is not dying anymore that I'm aware of, or making batlings, but she used to make the most fabulous bats and batlings. Liz Porter was her name. Her name. And she went to teaching full time, so she's been a little bit busy. But she made these cute little bits of fluff. These ones are organic Polworth, Tessa Silk, and Sparkle. And so they come in a bag of around 2 ounces, which is around 8 little balls of fluff. And here is the first bit. They have all those hidden colors in there.
It's got a lot of color in
that you wouldn't see. A lot of the dark too. So this is the first ounce, and then I'm spinning a second ounce. I just have this one little one left, and then they will get plied together and probably knit into something fun. They're going to be fingering weight, but not socks or anything. So that is what I've spun.
Is that your first spinning on the...
Yes, so this is the first spinning on the new wheel.
Cool.
So I'm just getting the flow for it. This little 2 ounces was a great way, because I know Liz has exceptionally nice fiber to start it off. I could fit everything that I brought today in this bag.
Wow.
That's how little I have to share with y'all, including a book. So that is what I have been working on spin-wise. But you have some spinning too that you did at my house and then plied over here,
Yeah,
right?
and it sat plied on my wheel for a week before I wound it off in a rush earlier when we realized we were recording today.
So it's not been...
It hasn't had a bath.
Washed.
No.
Okay.
So it hasn't been set. But this is... I'm
that's
averaging
pretty.
down to about 550 yards.
Wow.
Out of 6 ounces. I was very, very close on the bobbins ending at the same, like, having the same amount on both bobbins. I think there ended up being like 4 yards on one bobbin at the end, which I
Good
just...
consistency,
Yeah,
too.
I was happy with that part. So, yeah, it needs a bath. It's got some curly cues that haven't set, but this is Peaches and Cream. This is Knit Spin Farm. This was 6 total ounces, 3 ounce bats, 2 of those, and this is the Peaches and Cream, or Spiced Peaches and Cream, I think, colorway. And this was part of her club from last year, I think, or maybe the year before. I can't remember.
I think last year.
But occasionally, Laura and I are both members of both of her sock club and her back club, and occasionally one of us will really love the fiber more than the other and willing to like give up, you know,
we
their
trade
share.
off and on.
Laura isn't a huge fan of peach. I don't love it on its own, but I don't mind it mixed with other colors, and this one's got a lot of pinks and pale oranges, and there's some creams and whites in there. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. It came out relatively even, and yeah, it just needs a bath.
Cool. Do you have any plans for it?
No, because I am not confident enough to be able to, when I start a project, to say, okay, I'm going to aim for XYZ. I just hope for the best.
I didn't know once you saw it, like with your 500 yards, you're like, huh, that could be a good shawl or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it could combine with some other hand spun into a nice shawl, but I don't know yet.
Okay.
So, but I'm happy with how
You
it came
spun
out.
that woolen, right?
I spun it woolen. I spun it on the Craft Rose and applied it on the Daedalus
Blackbird? Starling?
Starling, thank you. I didn't apply it on the Blackbird because it was only 6 ounces. If it had been like 8, I probably would have, but it fit on the Starling just fine. So yeah, that's my spinning.
Super cute.
And we have book review, which we haven't done in a while.
I know, but Pom Pom was generous enough to send us their new book, which is Moon and Turtle. It's named after a Japanese proverb that is kind of like chalk or cheese in the United States. So 2 things that look alike but are not actually in fact alike, because it is written by twins. So the authors are longtime contributors to Pom Pom magazine. Some things that and this is their first printed collaboration. There are 9 hand knitting patterns inside. They all have lots of options. One thing that I love is that they're all sized from 30 up to 62, I believe. So great generous sizing. And they also have tall and short versions.
Yeah, and they're very gender neutral.
Yes, for sure. They went in trying to develop a collection that has more of a classic feel, but could be worn by anyone, any folks. So, yeah, super into this. There is, of the 9 things, I would knit probably 8 of them. So that's pretty much overwhelmingly awesome for me.
So, like Laura said, this is a collection put together by twins, Kiyomi and Sachiko Bergen. And, you know, they have a little About Us section in the front that talks about what sort of, how they sort of do a sort of soft competition with each other all the time, and that's a common twin thing, and a little bit just about them and what inspired them to create this collection.
So the first pattern is Kinsan, and we might be mispronouncing this, so we apologize ahead of time. But it is a striped raglan. You can see it on various body types. One thing that I love that this book does is at the end of each pattern, they give some options for modifications.
And color combos.
And so this one has, hey, if you switched up stripe sequences in different ways, this is how it could look. Mm-hmm. And they have tons of swatches as well. So some great information on how to modify this to work for you. I could definitely see myself wearing one that is like less stripes, but more of like a neutral, for sure. But lots of different options. And I love that about it. And great schematics throughout and nice large charts.
Yeah, I like that they give you so many other color options just built right into the book. It's great because that making decisions is hard.
Ginsan is the second pattern. It is a cardigan. It kind of reminds me of like a Letterman jacket type cardigan.
Yeah, it's very like, it's a very comfy sort of dressed down look. Dressed down is the wrong word. Like,
casual?
It feels luxurious and casual at the same time. The pockets on this thing.
I was going to say the pockets are my favorite part.
I love it.
They're super fun.
Yeah, they're like sort of a bucket, you know, like it makes me happy.
I am always a big fan of pockets. They also have that modification with the stripe on the bands. And Puka Poka? Poka Poka?
Poka Poka.
I love this hat. It was really hard for me not to cast this on right away. It is a beanie, or there's a different version, a watch cap. And it's got the lining on the inside of a mohair, and I have this gorgeous green mohair that I got from Colorful Way. And I think it would be so much fun with like another hand spun to knit, but I've never done a lined hat, and I think this would be a really fun one to start off with.
Poka Poka is a Japanese onomatopoeia word used to describe feeling warm.
Aw, I'm gonna let you say the next one. It's a soft shell turtle.
Trionics.
Yeah. So this one is a ribbed shawl. One thing that I love about this pattern is there is a chart on the very last page that says if you want to do a DK weight shawl or a mohair shawl and you want this many this wingspan, then you need to do this many repeats and you need to do this stitch count before the edging.
Yeah, it's a very simplified version of...
And you need these many yards.
Of rows. It's like, do this row, do it this many times, and then you'll be at this size, you know. So that's really cool.
If you're into matchy-matchy, because this matches both a sweater and another piece in here. There are these awesome socks. It is 3 different colors, but I could see doing this with like a narrower self-striping and just it being very, very cool.
Yeah, like a 2-row self-stripe, like a query fiber self-striping
yeah.
or something. And those are called Zener, Z-E-N-E-R. And these tie into a toque later in the book, but again, they show you different color options and whether or not you're doing 2 colors in the diamond or a single color. They show you options there, so that's cool.
Did you see the Jean-Luc Picard or Jean-Felix Picard reference on the next one? So I can't.
Cesium
there
Redux.
You go, Redux. It's a cabled sweater. It's really, really pretty. This is the only one that I probably wouldn't make just because I'm not a huge cables fan. But it is both a pullover, I believe, and a cardigan. It does have different ways that you can style it, like making the pullover cropped or knitting the cardigan longer. There's a collar on it, like a folded collar. Let me find a good picture of that. Yeah, there we go. There's that fold over collar as well. So yeah, cute. I'm not a cabled fan, so
Yeah.
nothing I own really has cables.
I like them, but they are a yarn eater, so you have to really be committed to the pattern.
Cordy is the cover sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Love, love, love. And they have swatches on the last page that are all different combinations of colors, so you can get a feel with swatches of how that would look. A great schematic, just like all the sweater patterns. Looski might be my favorite.
I think this could be like an it pattern for the winter. It's a cowl and a hood built into one, and the hood's got like tension strings, like a hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a brilliant idea.
I love it. And I think they use a bit of what could be leftover yarn from the sweater.
Yeah.
Like, it's, I think, around 600 yards, maybe
and
not.
You can set them so that they're coordinating colors, or you can do it in the same color.
So 385 yards of a worsted weight yarn. So if you buy that extra, you might actually be able to use this as your gauge swatch for the sweater. Wouldn't that be
true.
cool?
Yeah.
And then there's that optional face shield, which I love. And then the last is ESP, which is the hats.
Mm-hmm. Which mirrors the sock pattern.
That mirrors the sock, yeah.
Yeah, so, and,
you can purchase this either in print. It is £21.50 for in UK money. I'm not certain what that is in US money.
yeah, for $21.50 British pounds. Is it pounds?
I think so.
I think so. And if you get the print version, you also get a digital, a code down in the bottom for a digital version.
Yep. And you can also just
Ravelry.
purchase a digital version for £18. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I really, really dig the hood pattern. I can absolutely see that being something Michael might actually wear.
Ooh, yeah. Could be too.
Well, his hair is so long. He doesn't need one. So does Michael's, but Michael's is thin. But I really, really love the hood pattern. I think that'd be a great Wheezy gift as well.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good guy gift in your life. You know.
Well, it's gender neutral, so
It
good for
is,
anyone. Like camping would be perfect.
Sometimes it's hard to find like a hand knit thing for a guy that's not like a big thing like a sweater.
Yep.
And socks are an investment in time. But I feel like the hood, I'll absolutely be knitting at least one.
And everything in here is so gender neutral
Mm-hmm.
that I could see knitting almost every pattern in here as gifts.
Yeah, I definitely will be knitting the hood because I think that is a brilliant idea. And maybe there are versions of this that exist already. I hadn't personally seen them.
I also love the fact that a lot of the yarns used are very friendly price-wise, like Peace Fleece worsted, Briggs and Little with some of them, like, so it's stuff that is accessible.
Yeah, and it's not all like the finest merino you've ever handled. Like, some of it is a little toothier, and there's nothing wrong with that wool. You just have to know how to use it.
Well, the designers are also from Canada, so there's stuff that's accessible in the Western Hemisphere for sure. So
I think it's a 4th generation Japanese Canadians.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sachiko and Kiyomi Bergen, hand knit designers from Toronto or Toronto, Canada. So I think it's a great book. I think it's Pom Pom is very picky about the designers that they work with to create publications, and I think they made a great choice here.
Absolutely.
These designers created some beautiful stuff. So thank you, Pom Pom, for sending us copies.
Yes, so Pom Pom did send us copies, so thank you, Pom Pom. Yeah. What else have you been reading besides this book?
I haven't been reading a lot. I don't know why, but I just haven't, like the past week or so, I haven't been able to settle into any books. So I've gone back and I've been rereading some stuff. I re-listened to the whole Edge series, and that's an Alana Andrews. Well, I mean, they're books, but they're also audiobooks. And I'm rereading the 4th book in the Leveling Up series, which is Magical Midlife, whatever.
Oh, okay.
So I've already read the 4th one, but I'm rereading it because the last one just came out, and I sort of forgot most of what happened in the last one. The one before that. So I'm rereading that one in preparation for reading the last one. But yeah, I'm kind of in a slump because I want someone who writes heroines or characters in the way that Alana Andrews, that team does.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that difficult.
It's a high achievement.
Yeah, because either they're badass, but they're too whiny, they make stupid decisions, they fall for someone immediately, like, they just make irrational choices. So if you have suggestions of books for a woman who's over 40, and with all due respect is not really interested in reading about teenagers or coming-of-age stories, it's just not my jam at this point in my life, I would love to hear them. So, what else? What about you? What have you been reading?
I have been
had time to read this past week, a little bit, right?
Well, I've been sleeping mostly, but I've been picking up on a series called the Fox Hollow series by Morgan Bryce. It is giving me very much supernatural vibes. So like male, paranormal, romance elements, but that like supernatural community where the first one, which is linked in the show notes, has to do with a fox shifter whose former boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, calls a hunter to come, like a huntsman to come kill him.
Oh wow!
So he
is it that fox with 3 tails or 9 tails?
No, it's not a Kinsan.
Kinsan, there you go.
So they definitely have like that supernatural type of vibe to the like that show.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's one that has goats as the main character. It's called Gruff, and they're both shapeshifter goats, but one is a fainting goat. So anytime something happens unexpected, he just falls over.
Does he get really angry about that?
No. He just knows that that's part of his life, and like, but it's hard. Like when they first meet, he just falls over, and the other goat shifter is like, "Oh my gosh, I have to protect him. What's wrong with him?" And he's just a fainting goat. And I've never seen a fainting goat shapeshifter character before.
I can agree with that. I've never seen that. So
it made me very happy, for sure. It was just something new and different.
Yeah.
And I didn't have mental space to read any YA or middle grade that I was going to have to then like review for kids. So, or book talk to kids. So this was just the perfect, and a lot of the stories were free on, not Kindle, well, they're on Kindle Unlimited, but also like 2 of the stories are through her like mailing list for free.
Okay, cool.
So yeah. That's it. What I've been, some male paranormal action adventure suspense, I don't know, nonsense, but it was good. It's just a fun time for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Is there anything else that you need to talk about? Stash Dash is coming to an end, like another week and a few days, 10 days actually. I think.
We've got prizes to give away that we'll draw randomly from the threads in Discord as well as Instagram, I believe.
Yeah.
So we'll draw prizes for that after it's over. And then Craft All the Things will start.
Yeah.
I think it's September 15th.
Yeah, for sure. So usually it's September 15th until the end of October. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
It gives us 2 whole weeks without an along, and then in November we are going to do like washing fleece and fiber processing.
Oh, that's right. I was like, we're doing what?
We had a discussion.
Yes, we did.
And that was brought up by someone on Discord who wanted to do that, and I thought it was a great idea because I still have 2 fleeces to wash, 2.5 fleeces to wash, and tons of fleece to process.
Yeah, I have tons of fleece to process. Most of my fleece is washed, be fun. But, yeah. So we have a Discord link. Actually, there isn't. I will make sure there's a Discord link in the show notes. To join our Discord group. Again, it's at TheKnitGirll's, our show notes, or at TheKnitGirll's with 3Ls.com.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find the Discord link there.
Yep. And we'll still, with Halloween, we'll do on Ravelry and Instagram hashtags as well. So everyone can participate. Because it's just 2 threads. On Ravelry, it's easier for me to manage than like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Is there anything else that you have to talk about? All right.
Nope. You guys have an awesome week, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.